This 1st century BCE sandstone relief at the Great Stupa at Sanchi in India tells the story of the Monkey King. It is an example of a Jātaka tale in early Buddhist art. What is a Jātaka tale, and who is the Monkey King? Jātaka tales are a body of Buddhist literature that focus on stories of the historical Buddha's previous lives. They are also stories of self-sacrifice. Buddhism is one of the world's oldest religions and was founded by Siddhartha Gautama in India in the 6th or 5th century BCE. Siddhartha Gautama was a South Asian prince of the Shakya clan, who eventually became known as Shakyamuni Buddha, or Gautama Buddha, or simply the Buddha. Today, he is also referred to as the historical Buddha. Buddhists believe that Siddhartha had many lives, both as a human and as animals, before his last incarnation or life, and that he was a bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is an enlightened being that postpones Buddhahood and chooses to stay in the cycle of rebirth to help others achieve enlightenment. The historical Buddha was a bodhisattva for many eons before his last life as Siddhartha Gautama. Stories of the Buddha's previous lives originally derived from texts that were often depicted in Buddhist art. This scene depicts the Mahakapi Jātaka, a story of a former life of the Buddha when he was a monkey king who lived near the Ganges River. Let's take a closer look. The scene is crowded with figures and is divided into two sides by a river teeming with fish that flows from the top of the rectangular frame to the bottom. It describes an encounter between the Monkey King and King Brahmadatta of Benares. At the bottom, we see 6 figures lined up, and behind them, the king rides in from the left on horseback. He notices the monkeys in a tree eating sweet and delicious mangoes that he desires for himself. He orders his soldiers to kill the monkeys. At the center of the scene and to the right of the king on horseback is an archer. He bends backward, aiming his arrow above at a monkey, the Monkey King, who stretches his body from a tree on the upper left to the opposite bank to form a bridge with his body. This is an act of self-sacrifice. The Monkey King is willing to sacrifice his own life so that the other monkeys can escape to the safety of the forest across the river. Just below the Monkey King are 2 men holding out a cloth stretcher. Under the tree on the left are 2 seated figures, a human figure and a monkey, that look as if they are engaged in a conversation. These represent the human king and the monkey king after King Brahmadatta witnessed the Monkey King's selfless act. King Brahmadatta regretted his intent to kill the monkeys. He tried to nurture the Monkey King back to health to no avail. The Monkey King had been mortally wounded by another monkey who despised the Monkey King. Although not depicted in the Sanchi narrative, as the Monkey King's enemy crossed over his back to get to the opposite bank, he jumped so hard it broke. Before his death, the Monkey King told the human king about the virtues of self-sacrifice. A virtuous leader must always put the welfare of his subjects before his own. The king honored the Monkey King by giving him a royal funeral and lived out the rest of his days following the Monkey King's advice. To be able to read and understand the Monkey King Jātaka at the Great Stupa at Sanchi, the viewer clearly needs to have some knowledge about the Buddha, the stories of his previous lives, or to have read the Jātaka tales in Buddhist literature. Otherwise, one would not know where the story begins or where it ends. The temporal sequence in this scene is complex. It's not linear. We have to use background knowledge about the Jātaka tale and visual clues like the repeating motifs of the Monkey King and King Brahmadatta to understand how to read the image. The narrative reads from King Brahmadatta arriving on horseback, to him ordering his archer to kill the monkeys, to the Monkey King forming a bridge over the river, and then the human king and the Monkey King seated beneath the tree. The artist chose not to depict the Monkey King being wounded. It's up to the viewer to have enough knowledge to fill in moments in the story that are missing. While the temporal sequence of the Jātaka scene is confusing at first glance, this is not necessarily the case with all the narrative reliefs at the Great Stupa at Sanchi. Artists employed several different narrative modes to tell stories at the site. The Monkey King Jātaka relief decorates a post on one of the gateways, or toranas, at the Great Stupa at Sanchi. A stupa is a monumental reliquary mound, or an architectural monument that contains a sacred relic. A relic is a special religious object, like a pinky bone of a religious leader or something special they owned or touched. The Great Stupa at Sanchi, one of the largest and earliest extant stupas in the world, is surrounded by a circular stone railing with 4 Tirana gateways. The gateways lead to a path for pradakshina, or ritual circumambulation, around the solid stone hemisphere to prepare followers' minds for meditation. Each Tirana is composed of 2 posts and 3 architraves, and they are richly decorated with relief carvings that depict narratives or stories from the life, or in this case, a previous life, of the historical Buddha. The Monkey King Jātaka is on the western Tirana. Like all the narratives on the Great Stupa at Sanchi's gateways, the Jātaka scene is meant to be didactic, meaning that it is intended to teach something. In this case, we are taught about Buddhist paramitas, or virtues, through the generous and selfless act of the Buddha in a previous lifetime when he was the Monkey King.